The accusative in German is the second case that indicates the direct object of a sentence. So it's the thing or person that is directly affected by the verb's action. It answers the questions what and whom. Was, wen. The case marks the recipient of the action in a sentence. So by asking if the action is received by what or whom, we'll know that the sentence is accusative. The case's grammatical changes involve modifying articles, adjectives, pronouns, and sometimes plural nouns. I will not show how adjectives or pronouns get modified because they need to be explained in future videos. However, I will show how articles and nouns change when singular and plural. To understand how to pluralize nouns, we have to understand this concept in the nominative, as I already explained in my previous video. After knowing noun endings, other German cases are much simpler to understand. So the accusative will not involve as many examples, but all of its additional functions will be explained. In German, you can find masculine, feminine, and neuter nouns that have the following endings, and to pluralize them, we follow these patterns. Although nouns mainly don't change, in the accusative, their corresponding articles will be modified. However, the grammatical changes will only happen in the masculine articles. Unlike the nominative that uses der, die, das, die, and ein, eine, ein, accusative articles have only one change in the masculine. Der becomes den, and ein becomes einen. This is the only change that accusative articles have. Other articles remain the same and do not change. Den, die, das, die, einen, eine, ein. A good technique to remember this is to look at the endings of the articles. Den and einen end in in, and the accusative question wen ends in n. So in is a ubiquitous ending in the accusative. To tell that a sentence is accusative, look at the article ending, and other contexts will also tell that it's accusative. So the masculine accusative articles will be den, einen. The feminine accusative articles will be die, eine. The neuter accusative articles will be das, ein. And the plural article for all of them is die. These patterns will immensely help in understanding how nouns and articles function in the accusative. But because we're covering a case where the first modifications will be, this is where we have to introduce the functions of the case. What I'm talking about is other grammatical concepts that are practical to know when using the accusative. Such concepts are verbs and prepositions that the case uses with direct objects. These cases will be used a lot in the examples that I will show, but I will not use all of them because it is important to understand the general meaning of the case. Also, in the examples, there will be grammar that you don't know yet, but don't worry about it. For now, focus on the accusative changes. Along with nouns and articles, the accusative uses the following common verbs: haben, sehen, essen, fragen, lieben, gehen, kaufen, lesen, mogen, suchen, brauchen, sein, besuchen, holen, nehmen, trinken, finden, vergessen. The accusative also works with the following prepositions: durch, gegen, vor, ohne, All of these concepts activate the accusative because they work with direct objects, hence they receive the actions of the verbs with the prepositions. Alongside, the accusative can work with time expressions and can also modify pronouns and adjectives, depending on gender. As I said, such concepts will be explained in future videos, but time expressions are something that I'll concisely cover at the end. Let's begin with masculine nouns. Here, we have sentences with the verb haben. Ich habe den Hund. Ich habe einen Hund. To pluralize them, change the noun and article. Ich habe die Hunde. These sentences are accusative because Hund and Hunde are the direct objects, and the articles are accusative. By asking the action is received by whom, we have an answer, so we know it's accusative. Here, we have the verb sehen. Du siehst den Jungen. Du siehst einen Jungen. To pluralize it, change the article. Du siehst die Jungen. These sentences are accusative because Jungen is the direct object. However, Jungen is the same when singular and plural, and it's done on purpose because of a notable exception. Weak masculine singular nouns, like people, animals, and certain objects, will get an extra N in the accusative because they're weak on their own. They require an extra letter so that they sound better, so it's something that you have to watch out for. Additionally, when the sentence is plural, it's possible to say, Du siehst die Jungs. Jungs ends in S, because it is the informal plural form of Junge. This informal ending is common for some masculine nouns in colloquial German, especially when referring to people. The standard plural version of Junge is Jungen, so the difference is in the formality, which is why I showed Jungen first. Here we have the verb essen. Isst den Apfel. Isst einen Apfel. To pluralize it, change the article and noun. Isst die Äpfel. It's accusative because of the articles and direct object. Here we have the verb fragen. Ich frage den Studenten. Ich frage einen Studenten. Student is also a weak masculine singular noun, which is why it will end in. And to pluralize it, change the article. Ich frage die Studenten. It's accusative because of the articles and direct object. Here we have the verb lieben. Sie liebt den Mann. Sie liebt einen Mann. To pluralize it, change the article and noun. Sie liebt die Männer. It's accusative because of the articles and direct object. Here we have the verb gehen and a preposition that works in the case. Du gehst durch den Park. Du gehst durch einen Park. To pluralize it, change the article and noun. Du gehst durch die Parks. It's accusative because of the preposition, articles, and direct object. Let's continue with feminine nouns. Here we have the verb kaufen. Ich kaufe die Lampe. Ich kaufe eine Lampe. To pluralize it, the definite article die will be the same. So to tell the difference, pluralize the noun. Ich kaufe die Lampen. It's accusative because of the direct object. Here we have the verb lesen. Wir lesen die Zeitung. Wir lesen eine Zeitung. To pluralize it, keep the article die and pluralize Zeitung. Wir lesen die Zeitungen. It's accusative because of the direct object. Here we have the verb mogen. Mag die Frau. Mag eine Frau. To pluralize it, keep the article die and pluralize Frau. Mag die Frauen. It's accusative because of the direct object. Let's continue with neuter nouns. Here we have the verb suchen. Sucht das Zimmer. Sucht ein Zimmer. To pluralize it, change the article. Sucht die Zimmer. Here we have the verb brauchen. Sie brauchen das Instrument. Sie brauchen ein Instrument. To pluralize it, change the article and noun. Sie brauchen die Instrumente. Here we have the verb sein with a preposition that works in the accusative. Ich bin gegen das Drama. Ich bin gegen ein Drama. To pluralize it, change the article and noun. Ich bin gegen die Dramen. Here we have the verb besuchen. Du besuchst das Haus. Du besuchst ein Haus. To pluralize it, change the article and noun. Du besuchst die Häuser. This is the general system of nouns and articles in the German accusative, so this concept applies to most nouns in German. Let's finish with time expressions. In German, time expressions appear in the accusative to indicate a specific duration or point in time. Here are some examples. Ich arbeite jeden Tag. It's accusative because of jeden that changes from jeder Tag. Another example is trainiert jeden Morgen. It's accusative because of jeden that changes from jeder Morgen. Another example is Ich studierte den ganzen Tag. It's accusative because of den. Time expressions often use adjective endings to reflect the accusative, especially if they modify masculine nouns, but feminine and neuter nouns don't change. We can tell that all of these are accusative because of the ubiquitous in ending. Overall, this is how the accusative works in German, but don't forget that it also modifies pronouns and adjectives, and those will be explained in future videos.